Well, folks, thank you so much for bearing with us through that very lengthy break. It wouldn't be the start of a Challenger League season without Volvo tossing us an update. If you're wondering why we had to wait an hour and a half, it's because Valve added some music kits to the game. So enjoy your new music kit, and now we're going to enjoy a little bit of Challenger League action. Strife versus Timbermen. Strife starting out on the CT side of Vertigo, and Joel starting out with a little bit of pepper rub damage on the players on ramp. Seems like a pretty straightforward take here, John. And now Timbermen are springing into action, cutting down their first foe. Split asunder. They have been pushed back by this wall of smokes, and at least for the moment, pretty successful take. But they do need to get this plant down, and that's what Shane's going to attempt to do.
Yeah, Dare is going to be in this smoke, and that bomb is indeed planted down. All 5 players still standing for Timberman, but each of them getting chipped away, respectively. Dare at the highest HP of 83. And you see Strife thinking about going for this retake. They only have the body armor, no kits, no armor. Excuse me, no kits, no utility. They're just going to charge in. Jitter is going to get one onto Shane. Back and forth action here, but time is taken away. They have to find these final frags soon, or else they won't be able to defuse. I think that is the killing blow, Mike, as Droid finds Wreck.
Slight on 1 HP with a P250 and the armor. He's going to bail on out of there. Just try and get away. That's a definite win for the Timbermen here early. Dare's even hunting this, just trying to take what little he can away. Snav will come up the worse as a result of that hunt, but still, success for the Timbermen. Bomb down, bomb goes boom, and this is off to a very hot start. Rifles are going to come out immediately. We'll see what Intra picks up. He will take the SMG for a bit more utility, but Strife are going for the investment. All right, here's the scout on. We'll see what that can do in the hands of Slight. We talked about it. A lot of focus on Slight this season. He's been the opper. Now he's the in-game leader as well, calling around himself with that scope, and that adds a huge challenge, adds a lot of pressure to the game for Slight.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean,
the paint can. The paint can.
Oh.
It flew high. It got naded, I guess, up, and now has landed on top of the sandbags, which actually could... Now, sometimes GoTV to client changes physics objects, but that paint can could legitimately obscure vision if it's there.
It could. It kind of looks natural there, though. Perhaps they should leave it there.
Please no.
No, yeah. Talking about Slight a little bit more, Mike. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Talk about Slight. I was just going to talk about the stupid paint can.
He's obviously been really effective with the AWP. 613 frags over the last 3 months. As Dare's going to get that headshot onto Darty Montana, but he leads the team at a plus 77 kill to that differential, obviously because, of course, he's saving a lot. Joel's going to get the headshot onto Intro with a 5.7. Doesn't get the upgrade to the rifle, but that's a decent response there from Strife. Joel's going to get traded out by Dare, and now Slight with the scout in his hands will be smoked off from back halls. He fires away blindly, both because of the smoke and a flashbang that followed it up. And now, well, Timbermen are going to make their way to the A site for a second consecutive time.
Finally, the scout makes his presence known, but this is... Whoa, my goodness, Jitter makes a move through the smoke, a little slip through, and suddenly this is anyone's game, especially as this next tag comes through. They're so vulnerable. The SMG might as well be a rifle at this point. It's all on his Snav. A 1v2. He's been outmaneuvered here, and now while trying to get the bomb down, he's going to be so very exposed. He's counting on them being a bit timid, counting on Slight in particular, not giving him the fight, and he's correct, at least for the moment, but Slight plays a patient game, and patiently, he will succeed. Beautifully done there from Strife. I was about to say they were down and out when it was the 3v5, but the calculated risk through the smoke winds up working out beautifully, and Timbermen, not with the discipline as the bomb's going down, they let that round get away from them.
They absolutely did. So, I mean, just a nice little peek through the smoke after it faded. Forgot who that was that did it. I think Wreck, but either way, really well done on the Strife side to tie things up in their force buy, and now you're going to see the economy in a bit of a tough spot on the Timbermen. Just to note, the maps are going to be playing today, guys. Timbermen picking here on Vertigo, Strife picking Inferno, and then Mirage will be left over should we need it. And looking at the Vertigo stats, both teams are technically undefeated here over the last 3 months. They only played it 3 times combined, Mike, with Strife at 1-0 and Timbermen, of course, at 2-0 with a plus 12 round differential. So both teams, I mean, comfortable on this map for the times that they've played it, which isn't much.
Obviously, around we're not expecting much from the timbermen. Bomb plant would be great. So far, we've also only seen them work the A ramp. Very early days, but of course, showing a different look can at least apply some pressure elsewhere on the map. Right now, Droid, who is tagged as EMEA in the server, is playing around in towards mid, but it's just a Glock. So as Jitter collects that kill, that's all of the presence elsewhere on the map now gone. And it seems like the Timbermen may really just go for the straightforward play again. This time without utility, which, you know, pretty helpful for getting up the ramp.
It is. Let's hope Timbermen don't get trapped in that habit of just pushing the A ramp over and over again, right? Because that can lead to disaster.
It's also just really boring to watch, frankly.
Yeah.
Right now, they're trying to bait players into them, and, well, they did. But you still have to be able to execute, and of course, unarmored pistol players melt before the might of the MP9. So Rec makes some money, and the round comes to a close. Slight the only casualty. Strife, it's a nice recovery considering they lost the pistol round to be up 2 rounds at this point with the economy starting to stabilize. They could even get the op up at this point. Jitter's going to buy it. Yep, toss it on over to Slight. So now they've got just about everything they could want. Rec settling onto that MP9. But let's see how they deploy the AWP. Slight's been playing A ramp so far for the most part. Is he going to take that fight again? It's kind of what you'd expect, especially considering the focus from the Timbermen. And the Timbermen are indeed sending some presence over towards A ramp, though they spread into a bit of a default.
He's going right for the ramp, and he hits it. Sorry, Mike. Dare is going to go down there. I was going to mention Dare. Sorry, Mike. That he's the one that's usually trying for entries on the Timbermen. In fact, above and beyond everyone else in terms of opening frags at 54 over only 11 maps played, and 88.9% of the rounds where he gets an opening frag, they win.
Yeah, that round in particular, I mean, Dry challenging the op. Maybe they didn't know the op was out, but they're certainly going to have to reconsider that strategy. Jitter. A little bit awkward on that. Looked like he might have the better of them, and Slight just misses the cross, and Rec dies as a result. Oh, that's a bit of a blunder. B-site now wide open. Bomb's going to go down. Slight misses opportunity to have impact with the ult before this bomb goes down. Now that it's planted in a 3v4, this is a pretty tough ask. There's still utility even for the Timbermen. This is set up beautifully here, John. They're just going to bail.
Yeah. I mean, they still have Jules hanging around CT, but I think he's just waiting for exits. Yeah, they're just going to save what they've got. Not necessarily a bad call. The economy's not in terrible shape, but you don't want to throw it away in a situation where the Timbermen have pretty much full control here of B. There is still the lurk to worry about. They're watching right here in Droid, but he's not really moving anywhere. I think he's just waiting for someone to come around that corner. Either way, Timbermen are going to strike right on back and get a second. I think a key to that was, I believe, Snav snuck through onto that B site around mid, and he didn't get spotted out, and that's why he was able to get a free one and open up all that space.
The thing that's concerning is he was spotted just on the tail end by that op, and
oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah. Slight saw his back legs going over, which he wound up catching off Rec. So I don't know. We obviously didn't see that perspective. Could have just been that Rec lost the fight, but it could have also been that maybe the comms weren't communicated or weren't understood quick enough, which, you know, obviously that's just a bit concerning. Tough spot is the B anchor. It's kind of the perennial tough spot. Doesn't even really matter what map you're on. Just a thankless roll, John. Thankless roll.
Indeed.
What a peek from Darty Montana! Works for 1, almost 2. Intra, down low. But he does get the kill, and it's early A ramp aggression. And AWP didn't get out for the peak, but now they're going to have to contend with it. And Jules, meanwhile, wants to go for a look-in? No, thinks better of it. That would have been perhaps a bit ill-advised. We're seeing a lot of these solo peaks so far from both sides, John, and some of it could just be, you know, a little bit of the undisciplined, the ring rust coming into a new season. Obviously, the player break happened. There's been an absence in some events. Yes, teams have been competing in the RMRs and getting going with those, with qualifiers rather for them. But still takes some time to maybe snap in the disciplined play. Slight pick, and here comes Joel's 1-2, lines him up, drops the bomb on down, and leaves just Droid on his lonesome. Well, he finds the first. He's only got 18 points of health, and this is a dire situation. Position known. It's only a matter of time before he finds contact, and as he tries to swap that gun, Jitter finds the timing.
And speaking of Droid, actually, the reason he was added to this roster in the first place is not because Timbermen wanted to make a change, it's because they had to make a change. Calix, who was on the roster in Advanced in Season 41 and, of course, in Open in Season 40, unfortunately couldn't compete due to the age requirement of ECL, which is 16, and he is 15. So I'm sure
Wow.
we'll see him in the future, but right now he just cannot compete at this level, and that's why Droid, who's a veteran, of course, to ECL, is gonna be playing here with the Timbermen throughout the season.
Exciting for the future, though.
Yes.
15-year-old crushing it. I remember the Snakes days. Used to be the age requirement only came in once you hit Pro League, and then that was adapted at some point because, well, for a variety of reasons.
Yeah,
But that's exciting. Definitely one to watch for the future.
for sure.
Shoutouts to Snake. Shoutouts to Neptune, who turned 16 about 3 times. Remember those days? Good times.
Yeah.
Ooh, starting Montana, an opener, a second as well. The ramp fight working out beautifully here as he plays a little bit around the smoke. And once again, Timbermen majorly on the back foot here, John.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good defense being put up by Strife. Slowly but surely, it feels like Vertigo, with all the changes that came through, is starting to lean more towards the CT side, although it started very T-sided. It's very much now you have to have a strong defensive end to come out with success here. And at least Strife are able to bounce back after Timbermen are challenging them quite a bit. But this round's still not over. 3 players left standing, Shane, Intra, and Droid. Looking to move in. Intra's already made his way through the back halls. He won't be spotted out thanks to the smoke that was thrown. He closed the gap very quickly. He's going to do exactly that, and Timbermen are just waiting for their chance to spring and strike. But the thing is, only 15 seconds left. They have to get these frags quickly and plant the bomb. Droid's going to take down Wreck, and there goes Shane to try to plant it, but no, a perfect nade tossed by Slight will ensure that the bomb doesn't get planted, at least not yet. I think they're out of time.
Tagged again. Now it's done.
Yep.
Now it's done. There was just enough time if Intra had been allowed to plant, but they had the lineup through the box, John. There's just no way it was going to be permitted. There were still AGs, I think. I mean, that was brutal. Really nicely done from Strife so far. And again, speaking about Timbermen, the only gun round they've had success on is when they manage to slip through and towards mid. Otherwise, it's been this insistence on the A ramp fight, the A ramp fight, the A ramp fight, and they're not having a lot of success with it here, John. I'd love to see a different look.
Well, I mean, they did go to B once. It worked out pretty well for them. I agree with you, though. I wish they would challenge a little bit more at the B stairs. Maybe they'll do that here. We'll have to wait and see.
Seems like a mid play.
They're going towards mid, yeah.
Yeah, lots of presence in towards mid. Rex can have his hands full. He's got the full belt of util. Here comes the contact. Even had Slight there. So there's Rex with a pick. Gotta be careful not to overextend, but against the pistols, he'll get a feast. Yes, he loses his life, but that's okay. They can soak that economy loss. No problem. And Strife climbed to 5.
Yeah, easy peasy round there for Strife. Timbermen just trying to go as a unit with the pistols out towards mid and catch Strife off guard, but it just wasn't happening with Slight watching there, along with Wreck peeking around that corner, farming the frags. And like you said, even though he lost his life, it didn't really matter because there's plenty of economy to absorb that. So Strife looking to make it 6 now here, but the Timbermen will be back to the full-on rifle line. No op in sight for them. Not even sure they're going to use it that much on their T side. Lots of utility being thrown towards the A ramp, but at least this time it feels it's more of a decoy than anything else because they haven't necessarily committed towards it. And indeed, you're going to see Snav, along with 2 others of the Timbermen, pushing up here towards mid. Jitter's going to be first contact, more than likely. They've got a Molotov with his name on it, going to be tossed on forward, and yeah, he's going to have to retreat from this position. Actually went pretty far. Either way, he pushes back up, and he will go down. Dare finds the opener. Rag is trying to stand on his head here by his lonesome, but he won't be able to. Droid and Snap take down 2 more, and that might be the round.
Might be indeed. It's worth a look in at the very least with the buy already guaranteed and knowing that the economy is brittle for the Timbermen. See if you can collect something here on the delivery. Starting Montana's dead. And now at this point, Slight with the op. Might as well save that. Keep that alive. I think maybe a little bit of an overplay there in the fight towards mid. Jitter, I think it was Jitter, obviously trying to get back into the angle and catches a flashbang in the process. Always tough. Once you've given up the angle, it's a very dangerous fight to go back into. But a nice attempt. Very well done from the Timbermen. We see different look. We see the focus in towards mid. We see the change-up pitch a little bit. And they have some success with it. So again, mid has been a little bit of a fruitful endeavor for them. Let's see if they continue to go back to the well or if they've got other tricks up their sleeves. The economy will be
Yeah,
fine for Strife. No problem there, John.
yeah, they're definitely slipping through the defensive lines, going towards mid and finding the gaps in the defense of Strife, except for the pistol round, but that one doesn't really matter because it was a bit of a throwaway. So we'll see if they continue to try to do that. I think it would probably benefit them to go for maybe some mid control and perhaps continue to make some noise towards the ramp, continue throwing those smokes and flashes as well. Mix things up here. Oh, Jitter's going to mix things up. He's charging right in towards elevator. And he's going to toss that nade on forward. Droid down to 0, in fact, because Rec was right behind Jitter to support. All right. Interesting look here from Strife. Going for the aggression. It pans out for a 5v4 advantage, although a lot of damage taken by Rec at 21 HP and Jitter at 67.
It's a great way to compensate for some of the positions they've been getting bullied in towards mid, though, right? You take the initiative, you take the aggression yourself. Now Snav, catches one upside the chin of Jitter. It's a big kill to find. That opens mid back up, adds the doubt to their mind. Now losing Darty Montana towards the A ramp. This A site is soft. It's going to be up to Joel's. Joel's has to go ham, and he doesn't have the utility for this at this point. He's drained his belt. Look at this. Just going to be committed in. No support either. Both players back in towards mid. They're wary. They don't know where the timbermen are going. So unless this first point of contact gets a multi-kill, I think this round might just be done. The smoke now indicates it. Reinforcements are being called in. The op of Slight could be here to support, but Joel's, it's a risky spot. He's got the first. He's sticking around as well. That's a bold maneuver. The smoke will allow him to retreat and Slight with a shot that lands. It's all falling apart for the Timbermen. It was looking so very good. But as they tried to move on towards the site, they have just been vaporized. Dare. A lone wolf. 1v3. Has an inkling of Joel's position, but there's more to find. That offer, the double peek that will come through, and Rec will secure the round. What a recovery in the 3v5 for Strife.
Oh, yeah, fantastic work. I mean, you talked about it, but Joel's holding that position directly on site next to the boxes for so long was risky, but the risk pays off. He gets the opener, and then a smoke comes through, which helps him retreat off that position. Doesn't give Timberman a chance to adjust to where he went, which was, of course, boosted on top of the boxes. And then Slight hits an op shot, and Rec spams through the smoke, finds himself a frag as well. So Strife doing a really great job of recovering from what was a pretty significant man disadvantage.
Yeah, 3v4 actually. I said 3v5, but of course there was that aggression in towards mid, which is very nice from Strife. I will say one thing that's interesting here is watching what Timbermen are doing. Okay, never mind. Contact made, and Red cleans up the B stairs. So watching, never mind. Can I talk about what just happened? Come on, guys, chill out. No, apparently I cannot. Fight in towards mid, rifle dropped, rifle reclaimed, bailing on out. It's not looking good for the Timbermen. They're not looking very up on the meta right now, I will say. This is their map pick, which makes it a little bit concerning. They're going for the old plant. The plant they're going for behind the boxes has fallen out of favor a little bit. A lot of the top-end teams have started to favor the plant over on the right side, sort of by jump up, out by the railing there. It's a lot more open. So if you can get the bomb down there, first of all, you avoid those spam lineups straight through the box while you're planting. And then once it's open, you can defend that from ramp very effectively. So that's gotten a lot more popular in the current meta. So it's a little concerning for Timbermen that their playbook seems pretty shallow on this map, considering it is their pick here, John.
I mean, I think it's also a result of the fact they're playing against advanced level opponents who won't necessarily have those utility lineups, and they didn't have to make the adjustments, right, to a higher level play. Now they're going to need to, and I mean, you talked about the nades coming through and a lot of different stuff, and on top of the Molotov, right? There's a Molotov that's an easy lineup to ensure that the bomb plant can be denied, so definitely it's much better right, as you've been mentioning that you see more pro teams doing. Anyway, Intra is going to get the headshot onto Darty Montana, 5v4 in favor of the Timbermen. Slight taking a bit of damage down to 83. And whoa, wall bang.
Fence,
Now he has to get away from fence because that is a very spicy spot, and he eventually does retreat. But Timbermen really seem to be locked into this A site the majority of their hits.
Very focused. I mean, this time with the pick advantage, right? It makes it a lot easier But once again, they're going to get into a situation. Okay, this time there's no HEs and there's no Molotov. That makes life a lot easier. Intra is planting. They're very committed to this plant spot as well. But in a 5v3, this should be defensible. Wreck might even want to just stick around here and then try and do as much damage as possible towards the end to keep them from taking guns into the next round, right? He's playing forklift right now. It's not a bad read. Depends on the focus. Nope, Wreck's dead. Never mind. Can't do that anymore. And Slight has no desire to risk that op.
Yeah, once Wreck goes down, they realize that there's no more safe haven in their positioning, and they're going to back off completely. Slight and Jitter will at least get to save these 2 rifles, one of them being the big green, of course. But the Timbermen are back onto the scoreboard here with a 4th round picked up. So their T side is starting to look pretty decent. Get 6 rounds. I'd say they're in pretty good shape going on to CT side. But looking at that scoreboard here so far, I believe it is... Nope. I lost visibility on that mic.
All good. All good. All good. I will say for the Timbermen, if they can recover towards 5 or 6 rounds, I think this is perfectly acceptable. Still don't love what we've seen from them in terms of playbook, but hey, if it works, could just get them enough. I will say Darty Montana has not been having a great time here. The Vertigo A ramp player, it's a tough spot, right? There's so many different ways you can get overwhelmed. If you overextend, if you take too many fights, if you just get caught with spam through smoke, life can be rough. And he has indeed been having a bit of a rough go here.
Yeah, as long as you're getting traded out, it's fine, but it's really indeed a tough spot, and you have to account for so many different scenarios, whether someone pushes up a ramp and gets around the scaffolding or someone's in the scaffolding, you know, and then you have to realize, okay, what do I do? Do I retreat? Do I stay here? And anyway, look, at least he has Slight to support him here. And Slight's going to hit the shot into Snap. That's a great opener to find. 5v4 in favor of Strife. Slight continues to spam away, but needs to back off eventually. You have the advantage. No reason to overplay your hand at this point with 50 seconds left on the clock.
Playing with Dirty Montana, getting in towards the fence. Slight looks like he wants to go for the peak. Try as well. It works. Oh my. That was a chance for Dare to punish, but instead Slight just continues steadily forward, adding to their totals, adding to their advantage here. Intro will be the next to take the fight. That one works out, but the trade is instant, and now Darty Montana goes back. So this round, he has a lot of success indeed, and that puts Strife back on the momentum here.
Yeah, nicely done for Darty to get those 2 frags and really close out that round in favor of Strife. They also take this half effectively with the 8 rounds. And I want to talk about that score. We can see them now. So Wreck at the top, and you mentioned that he's a player that can really provide the firepower. I think he was making a bit of an adjustment he's added last season, but he did certainly start to pop off towards the end of it. And here he is kicking off with a 13-7 scoreline. Not to mention, we said, okay, maybe there's a question mark about Slight dealing with IGL duties as well. Can he frag out still with the AWP? And the answer so far is yes, as he's at fault for only 1 frag behind of Wreck, who will go down first in this round as Snav just continues to chip away with the AK until he hits the dirt. 5v4 advantage for the Timbermen, and they're going to make an adjustment here. They're not going to immediately commit off of that pick.
I like this, though. They haven't shown a lot of early presence towards B stairs. They've done it maybe 1 round. And so having found the pick there, they're going to spread the defense out. You see the response from Strife. There's 3 players now in this neighborhood, right? They've got to account for it. And instead, you've just got Joel's back by the cement, stuck in the corner. And as we well know, that corner can certainly get away from you. But it does seem like the Timbermen are coming back to the B steps, and this is a misread from Strife. They've assumed it since they haven't heard anything here in a while. Timbermen were maybe going for the rotate, but they were just biding their time. They were just waiting. And they may have waited just a tick too long. Darty Montana and Jitter back on the scene. A little bit of a yo-yo here if you're watching the mini-map. But hey, now let's see if Darty Montana can step to the plate and hit a homer. He needs to. At least a double. Not going to happen. Pretty tough retake now with no flank on. Oh, unless you got the mortar shot, that opens things up a bit. Bomb did get planted, though. Long range bay. Point man needs to try and pry some players away. He's got two! What a play from Jitter. Down to the 2v2. Time ticking away, but kit's available. That's not a concern just yet. What a shot from Intra. That might lock things down. All on the Slight. Yes, he'll take the first, but at range, can he hope to get away with this one? It's a race.
I think he has it.
Kit versus the D2. Does he have it? He does indeed. Droid doesn't have the lineup, and that's a nice round stolen away.
Oh, wow, what a retake. And I mean, Jitter gets a little bit of luck in his favor because once he sprays down the first player right behind him, oh, peekaboo, there's the head of the second one, and he immediately sprays it down. Thankfully, of course, for himself, because it gives his team the man advantage, and then they continue pushing on forward. Great play by Slight, heads up, realizing that the last player was out of position, just decides to stick the defusal, toss the smoke in front of himself, and there's really very little chance for Droid to be able to locate where he might be using that bomb from. So, Strife, pull that round back. Another great retake. I think the second one of the last 4 rounds. It looked like they might have been down and out, but they pull it on back. Darty Montana gets the opener as well onto Intra and scaffolding. Slight will get taken out by Dare, but there is another immediate response where Jitter. Look at this work from Darty Montana. You criticized him a little bit, saying that he wasn't playing the spot that well, but he gets 2 here.
They lost track of him. They thought he'd slip back and towards the side hall, but no! He's waiting around the whole time. Out on the snap, 0 play for Darty Montana. That round is firmly his. And that's double digits hit in the first half for Strife. He talked about it. 5 or 6 was what we needed from Timbermen for us to have a game. Well, now 5 is the only possibility. Can they eke out this last round here, John?
I don't know. I mean, Strife have really battened down the hatches, and even when Timbermen are able to get on through, as I mentioned, the retakes have been really solid, and their knowledge of the map is clear. You know, you see the utility has been on point, the nades ricocheting exactly where they need to hit the spots they want to pick. And, well, look at this. Timbermen going to have an engagement in ladder room, I believe. Jitter takes most of the damage down to 82. I mean, it's not that much, but he's going to back off that slightly aggressive trek. But yeah, I mean, look, Timbermen, I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier, the meta feels like it's a little outdated in terms of the way they're executing on their T side, and Strife have been very good at recovering.
Opening pick lost. Snav down for the count. Where are they going to go with it? In towards mid, it seems. Have had some success here, though it'll be the only point they have now with their 3 remaining players, and it's a good setup, right? Darty and Jitter are here. Now it's Slight coming in, and as I say that, the timing not working in their favor. Strife feeling Ghost over towards B and leaving it onto the AWP, and AWP, it's just been lost. Possibilities are opening up here. Chances, opportunities. Darty Montana, step into the plate. Jitter to work with him, and on the edge of that smoke, that's going to be 1 found. The spray, so much damage taken through, and it's a cleanup here just on the Droid. No help that's fair, and he's going to be down for that count. 11-4 sends us to our halftime break. And we're back into it. Strife with a massive lead as they head to their attacking half. Can the Timbermen keep pace? Or will their stagnant nature on the T side perhaps spell problems here in the defensive half? What say you, John?
I'm not sure. I feel like Strife definitely have the edge. It feels like they're playing the map much better than the Timbermen are at this point.
Mm.
So we'll have to wait and see how it pans out. Got the flashbangs coming through here. Utility flying on forward. Chain's going to get the opener, though. That's a tap on the head of Joel's. Then finds the second one with 2 shots fired and 2 frags to show for that. Jitter is going to get tagged down, and now it's only up to Wreck in a 1v3 and no longer. Wow. That was some clinical firing there from the USBs.
Great shooting, great response as well. The Timbermen were all over that immediately. Had the crosshairs on site, were ready for it. I don't know whether they just read Strife in that round or whether they were just quick on the rotates. We'll have to see. But reminder, they did win the pistol in the first half. Couldn't sustain that. Now, admittedly, no bomb plant here is going to make things tough for Strife. And we see a Zeus, a P250, and 1 single flashbang bought into. Where do you even play with the Zeus on the T side in this situation? Well, I'm going to find out. Slight's making a cheeky play in the smoke. That's what's happening. Not a whole lot of success on that one. Not a kill to be found.
All right. Strong start for the Timbermen. I mean, obviously just an anti-eco there, but at the very least, they're able to get 2 rounds quite quickly. The pistol round wasn't even threatening for Strife at any moment. Thanks to some really nice shots from Darren Snav. And now you'll have the first proper buy-up coming through from Strife. Although it won't feature full utility, you're going to have AKs across the board and at least enough to go for and execute on either bomb site. Timbermen, though, if you're looking at the firepower, because they're on the bonus round, it's a little inferior, and you're going to see one of the A1Ss is already down for the count. Dare getting quite aggressive, jumping down those B stairs, but Snav immediately responds. That's over on the other side of the map, taking out Joel's, and he gets the free AK upgrade. So Lurk is gone, and Strife also don't have that much HP comparatively, right? 400 combined for the Timbermen versus only 269 on Strife.
It opens them up a lot to these Fami.
Yeah.
Seems like they're going to do a little bit of a retee of the pistol strat. They've certainly got their util set up on this side of the map. Preemptive smoke here for Shane. Does give him a little bit of a foothold upon which to stand. Trade, that's a good one. Droid not able to do much with the MP9. Health is still very low, but a man advantage might allow him to get his bomb down, at least while the smokes are up. That's going to be the risk.
Nice.
Dodging the nade. Nice preemptive maneuver from Wreck. He expected it. He read it. He was ready for it. Droid out in the open. Sorry, that's intra. Down for the count. Now Snav. 1v2. His opponents are low. This is viable, but he's missed the first shot. He's got both. No. A clothesline. They ran through his range of fire, and that will be Snav clutching things out for the Timbermen.
Wow. I mean, I was going to say it's a 1v3, but it's so precarious because of how little HP the remaining Strife players have. And yeah, a little unlucky there. You saw the second player trying to reinforce and swing around and just walked right into the crosshair of the waiting Timberman. So 11-7 in favor of Strife. Still have not picked up a round here in this second half, and a timeout going to be called perhaps by Strife to talk things over here because they just lost their full-on buy-up, meaning they're going to be on another eco round. They could get a hero AK in the mix or even force up. Looks like Jitter's already going to get the AK, and I think that will likely be it in terms of heavy investment into the round. Timbermen, though, pretty solid so far on the defensive end. We'll see if that keeps up.
Well, indeed. We will indeed. Investment coming through. I am curious to see what they do with the techs. I mean, so far from Strife in the pistol round, we saw that strat repeat in the first gun round as well, right? So speaking about shallow playbooks from the T side, we've only really seen one execute from Strife so far. Extremely early days, though. There's a lot more time to show us what they got. You do wonder, of course, any team that's made a change, you're changing who calls and that kind of thing. There's always a bit of a time when you're trying to install things. You know, you might be trying to go for your most drilled plays if you don't have that many. Utility in towards mid. Droid seems like he's going to have his hands full, but so far, well caught. And snap right there. Is there for cleanup? A little bit of an alley-oop. There, John. Okay.
Yeah, but there's, well, only one frag. And that's it. Dara's going to take down Joel's. Going to say maybe there's something happening here, but no, not at all. Timbermen cut the lead to only 3 rounds. And talking about that adjustment, Mike, that Strife are going to have to make without stamina there, it's showing in their last 3 matches. They lost the complexity, although that one was kind of expected. 5-16 on Inferno and Overpass. But against B-Hop and GG, usually I would have given Strife the edge, but they lost both those matches in 3 maps, 1-2 to B-Hop, and of course the same 1-2 up against GG. So I don't know. I mean, obviously there's an adjustment to be made, and you're seeing that they're not able to close out maps as effectively as they were last season because of the loss of stamina. I think that perhaps they should maybe consider having a different caller. Not that it's affecting SLIGHT's performance that much in terms of frags, but they really do need that deep playbook that stamina brought to bear.
Ooh, there's the peek. There's the pick from Jitter. Finally, the Timbermen go light on B, and Strife do capitalize the one round where they weren't heavy stacked up, but now they've got the inroads. Jitter's on through. This is what they've been trying to do. Now the deep util can come through. The Molotov tossed on it. The smokes can show up as well. Get that bomb down. They can't let this moment slip away. And indeed, they are capitalizing. This bomb down now is going to make this retake very tough. So for Droid, though, if he gets more, he won't. He won't. Decent damage done will limit what Strife can take into the next round, but it is still 12th on the board.
Yeah, good job there by Jitter in particular. The tip of the spear gets the opening frag and continues to push on forward in order to find himself a second. And after that point, Strife do get control of the bomb site. As you mentioned, they need to get the bomb planted, but luckily the frags came through as well, so it wasn't as urgent. Lead extended back to 4, and now the Timbermen, I mean, they've been losing quite a few bodies. They haven't been able to build up much economy, and that's showing here in their buy-up, as they have the 2 A1Ss, the AWP, the 5.7, and the MP9, but everyone is below $400. So should they lose here, it'll be even more problematic to make a comeback on this map. Shane waiting with the 5.7 up close and personal here near the B stairs, and a dunk attempt by Strife, but no one is playing in the position that their nades go. Now Reck and Jitter taking a little bit of damage, so they decide to fall off their venture towards the site. And Strife's probably just going to regroup here. Joel's does have some fort positioning up the A ramp.
Does indeed. We haven't seen a straightforward ramp take yet from Strife, but they're certainly postured for it. Oh, tosser on utility. Oh, makes me a bit nervous when multiple players have those grenades out on the ramp. But at least for now, the Timbermen will not come a knocking. They are limited a little bit in what they can do for a response. HE can be well placed. Indeed it is. Reck down low. No kills just yet, and Reck still gonna risk the plant. Oh, he thought he baited it. He thought he had. Not quite. A little bit delayed, and he suffers as a result. But that bomb still gets planted. Once again, Strife going for the closed plant as opposed to the open one. SLIGHT will be able to defend this just fine.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a very nice spot to plant. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I mean, teams have been running it for years, right? So
yeah,
everyone's very comfortable with playing around that. But the meta never shifting. Same as an hourglass. Right now, they seem to think someone's on the bomb, but it's not going to happen. Darty Montana defending. It's all into SLIGHT. There's no smoke out here, and Dare is out of time. That is going to be a round here for Strife. Both players will save their ops and get on through. The end result is still just one more in the W column here for Strife.
Yeah, SLIGHT sending those pylons to their doom. Have one kind. But no, great job by Darty Montana on that 3K. I mean, if he doesn't get it, and it's a tough situation that he's in, then they lose the round. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see how it went down, but still, it was a nice spray transfer, I have to imagine, in order to make that happen. So Darty Montana in his first official match with Strife in ECL anyway, is doing quite well for himself. A bit of a slow start, but since that point that he got that 2K to go 7-7, he really has made more of an impact on this match. Dare's going to get the opener onto Strife. That's Joel's going down, and it is only the op bot up here, aside from the 4 USPs. So if timbermen are able to take this, it would be quite a coup indeed.
Yeah. I mean, a triumph, right? But it's going to require some trickery, perhaps. And right now, they seem to be going for the stack. Dare's just revealed the presence of the op, and Strife are responding. Flowing in towards the A ramp, having heard the op towards B. Indeed, they're making the right read, but they've got to be careful here. Dare rotating back, could be here just in time. They haven't executed yet. 50 seconds on the clock. Once the util comes in, it will obscure views, but there was going to be a chance. The op is certainly in the right place. Smokes up, shots out, not connecting just yet, not winning this sweepstakes. Montana gets ready to plant. Oh, on top of the box they go. Jitter gets 2, a third as well. Jitter shutting it all down. Shape may just want to try and save this opponent deep. This one is over and done with. It is going to be 14 here for Strife, despite Dare's best efforts.
Wow. I mean, you're literally painting a target on your chest when you jump on top of the boxes there at the A site. But Jitter, I mean, luckily for him, he's only going up against USP, so he gets the 3K, but it's still a risky play to make. But the result is, well, you get the round quite handily. Shane will be able to save the AWP, maybe. Darty Montana looking for another one to this round. It would be a second. Shane goes for the no-scope and misses, and Darty Montana punishes even further. They will not be able to buy up the op unless they sacrifice armor on the Timbermen side. That one hurts a lot. They should have tried to save that a little bit. I'd be a little more passive, I should say, but I guess you can't get more passive than that. Darty Montana was in T-spawn.
Yeah. Just a no-scope that wasn't quite enough. Close, but no cigar. Didn't hit the artery. No vital organs. There. That glass cannon AWP, aforementioned, gonna get a little bit frisky and a little bit risky with it. And instead, it'll be the op on the other side to find the first kill.
A lot of damage taken, though. Darty Montana down to 9. So
that was towards B, right? What happened there? Just utility?
I think it was just util, yeah.
Oh, there's the pick. There's the flashbang. There's the peak. Shane brings back the numbers. That's something he desperately needed, because you can see already here, John, the utility is running thin. They've got a smoke. They've got a flash. They've got 1 HE. And that is it. Kits? You talking about kits? You kidding?
Playoffs.
Can't afford flashbangs. Don't have kits.
Reminded me of that playoffs. We can't even win a game. 53 seconds on the clock here as Timbermen are going to be on the defensive side. Droid gets 1, Shane another, and Strife cannot crack into this bomb site this time. At least not yet. 43 seconds left. Still a chance. And they're waiting for someone to peek on the Timbermen side, but Timbermen are just going to hold their ground. They do not want to make a mistake in this situation.
Where's the money at? Oh, a save wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Instead, they're just all going to go down for free. That was a really lackluster take from Strife. Very nicely executed from Timbermen. Who needs kits if they just don't plant? But man, that looked disjointed from Strife, right? It kind of just dripped into the site like a leaky faucet. There was not a lot of decisiveness there, and so they leave themselves very exposed. You got a Timberman side that can't drop util, that really would be in a tough spot in a retake. But if you just give them, one-on-one fights, if you just let them gun you down as you approach, it's not going to be a problem. So, a major window back in here for the Timbermen. They did capitalize, and Dare quick with that off. Gonna find Joel trying to pick pace. Slight finds one, but the trade's instant. Darty Montana seems to be feeling the siren song as well. He wants to try and bring that kill back. He knows they need that kill. They need something to open this up. But oh, he's been spotted. Got to be careful there. Too many targets. He can't get away. High risk, no reward.
Yeah, a little bit of an unorthodox play coming through from the Timbermen, stacking up 2 players in scaffolding, and Strife just didn't expect it at all. It resulted in 2 frags, one from the op, one for the rifle. And after that, well, so far the timbermen have not rescinded the advantage. Currently standing at 2 men. Reck does manage to find quite a bit of space in the B site. It's been vacated, Mike. This is an oversight by the timbermen.
This might open the round back up there. Oh, no! There was the freebie. It's not going to happen. Rex still might get the bomb plant out of it. He will indeed. So that money at least is secured. But without that kill, this hold is so tough. They do it. Let's see. There's the first. Jitter's got one. Trying to jump over the smoke. That was a risk, certainly. Reck going to need to be the hero here. He's playing from the back corner. He's just been spotted.
Nice
and
peek.
peeking back in. Dare will be able to punish a 4K for Dare. He has been going ham these last few rounds to try and keep the Timbermen in it. And at least this time, he'll do exactly that.
Yeah, he is very, very good with the big green, and Timbermen are certainly built around his skill on the sniper rifle as they jump into double digits now. 10 rounds found versus Strife, who do have 14, but they've stalled out there. Their T side has suddenly run into quite a few struggles. They really at least found the space on that B site in that round. Reck managing to rotate around, and Timbermen overlooking the fact that Strife could have rotated that quickly. But at the end, it's the Timbermen who come out and prevail with some good patience and, of course, some nice timely peeks around the corners onto that site. So, Strife, I think calling a timeout here, Mike, to talk things over. Actually, no, excuse me. It's Timbermen calling a timeout, despite the fact that they won the round.
I want to figure some things out here. That's an interesting choice, considering it is very late in the game that this is where they're calling the timeout, right?
Yeah, and they're down by 4, and they technically have the momentum, right?
But these are the kind of rounds you got to make sure, right? If you're expecting a limited buy, if you're expecting maybe a faster play, the change of pitch, it's not a bad idea. A lot of teams that will call a timeout here, specifically to calm things down, clear comms, make sure they're not getting ahead of themselves. And here comes the faster play. Snap's overwhelmed. That's exactly what they were worried about. Snap being caught. Now the pressure comes on in, but Intra has managed to reposition. He's got teammates as well available here. Now all the guns are present for Strife. Or sorry, for Timbermen. And more importantly, the nades. Oh my goodness. What was looking exciting for Strife has come to a shuddering, shrapnel-filled halt.
Just 2 nades tossed, and each one yielding a frag. The thing is, Strife still have some presence here towards A. The problem, no bomb on their backs. They still have to recover it. And now Jitter's peeking around for the back calls. The smoke has faded. That is it. Intra and Shane cap things off. And the Timbermen now up to 11. Strife wasn't a full investment in that round, so they were trying to do something a little cheeky, go for that quicker play. It looked like it was going to work, but I believe there's a Molotov thrown on the ramp that did so much damage. 2 players were down to below 30 HP, and after that point, Timbermen were able to take control.
This is that really dangerous place in a scoreline, right? Where if Strife can't convert this round, it's anyone's game. So this is a critical swing. For Timbermen, obviously they get one mulligan. So they're playing for overtime. But for Strife, I think this is a high pressure round. Can they close out this game? Or are they going to have their backs up against the wall and try and hang on to this lead? Let's find out. A ramp seems to be the play, at least initially. They've got no presence towards B. They've got no presence towards mid. Mid has largely been an unexplored option. We saw Droid lurking it. We actually saw Timbermen have quite a bit of success in the first half. Strife have all but ignored it. In fact, they may have entirely ignored it, John. I'm trying to think. Was there a single round where they pressured mid?
Not really. You're right. I think it was 1 round, maybe pistols. I'm not sure. Maybe that was Timbermen.
Because that Zeus round was a ramp. All right, anyways, the hit's coming through. Apparently, they don't need to pressure mid. Bomb's going down. The traditional spot, but Jitter has been lost. Joel's is taking a bit of a risk here. Oh, Joel's on the smoke fade. What's going to happen? What's he going to find? Not much. Had the idea, had the element of surprise, didn't have the execution, and the kills are not going their way. Health is low for a lot of these players. The rifle still need to find home. Not doing that. Red with 1. Need to have more. No one's on that bomb just yet, but no one's left to defend it. There we go for the Timbermen. Strife very aggressively postured in that post plant, and, well, swiftly they do die.
Yeah, that was an unnecessary risk by Jules to stay in that smoke for so long. He wide swings around the corner into what is 4 players waiting for him. And I mean, he should have been able to get one, but it's hard because there were so many targets that he realized were around that corner that he just couldn't focus in. So unfortunately for Strife, despite the fact that the execute goes pretty well, they end up losing the round, and the Timbermen take a 12. Thanks to the bomb plant, though, Strife can still buy up here. It's going to be AKs across the board with almost full utility. Let's see if they finally decide to go for a bit of mid control. And here's how they're going to peek towards the stairs. Wreck, it gets chipped away a little bit by that nade. Not too worse for the wear, though. And Jitter will be by his side. Again, though, you're right to spot out that trend, Mike. You don't really want to play around with mid.
They got someone there. Darty Montana's in mid. Something is happening in mid. Come on. Keep going. Droid is watching it. At least there's something to speak of. Strife haven't really tipped their hand just yet, right? They've got a player under the B steps. They're taking some A-ramp control. But for once, Timbermen are playing very far back. They've also saved a lot of their nades. Not spent a lot in terms of utility early on. So they've got a lot of explosives, HEs, Molotovs, everything you could possibly want here. Strife are not getting the fight they're hoping for. 50 seconds on the clock, and the Timbermen have still barely pulled the pin on a nade. This is great discipline. They haven't seen anything, so they haven't reacted. Finally, hint over towards B, draws out a molly at the very least, but still. Snav is a full belt as they come in towards this A-ramp take, and again, they've abandoned mid. They haven't shown anything. It's a very vanilla take. There's 2 smokes, a Molotov, and a couple of flashes to try and make this happen. Once the post plant comes through, they're going to have nothing. Need to get this bomb down, need to get this bomb planted, and preferably need to keep the bodies alive. That smoke is late. The Molotov is as well, and Slight wants to fight. Joel's got one. Slight continuing forward. Does he get away? He does. Health isn't great, but the man advantage is here. Now with Slight playing a cheeky angle. I don't believe either side has touched this just yet. This could actually work out nicely in their favor.
Definitely could. Shane's going to hit a headshot onto Jitter, though. That makes it a 4v4. And again, the HP is very light. I can't believe Intra clears that. Then he gets his follow-up, and he gets pretty much all of the remaining players.
My goodness.
3 of the 4 going Intra's way. And the Timbermen have won another critical round, 13-14. They are 1 away from tying it, Mike. And after only getting 4 rounds on their T side, we thought, okay, maybe Strife have a chance to punish, but they have pretty much erased that.
Yeah, I mean, first off, Timbermen, very clinical in that retake, clearing all of the possible positions. Very smooth with how they do it. And you also saw the massive advantage they had by holding those nades for so long into the round. Strife played passive, and Timbermen just didn't bite. It worked out beautifully for them. They had so many nades as the bomb was going down. It makes it a nightmare for Strife to try and defend. Once again, Strife gonna have some limited utility. They need to show presence somewhere else. They cannot just go for an A-ramp take. They will almost certainly lose that fight again. Seems like they're going to show some presence towards B. There's a response here, but 2 players present. This is not a soft target.
And it's not like
Montana
mid...
finally gonna make the move. Come on,
yeah,
do something in mid.
It's not like mid is defended by...
It's just Droid.
Yeah, it's just Droid watching it, so you gotta try it.
He's coming back in, actually. Oh, wreck drop by the danger panel. That's going to be a big kill to find early for Shane. It slows down what they can do towards B, makes the team a lot more comfortable. You could see the mid player was even starting to bunch back. It's going to have to be Darty Montana. He's doing it. He's making his move around the mid burn, but Droid's waiting for it. Who's going to catch it? Darty Montana. Big kill. This bisects the defense, and Intra's response is instant. He pulls the Thorn out of their side, removes the toxins, and, well, we're back into a pretty straightforward A-ramp take.
Again.
The bomb will probably go down, but I don't know if they're getting much beyond that, John.
It's like we're watching the same round on repeat, Mike, over and over again for Strife. There's the A ramp
all
take
right,
after
all
things
right.
don't work out. Jules has a really good forward position
Yeah.
here, though. He could get both players to clear it, but they do. Snap can't hit the shots, though. Now he's trapped because he has to make a move forward, and it works. He finds his second before Shane manages to clean him out. 2v2, not over yet. Strife will lose another one up to Slight to try and run. He gets one, and the second. Strife finally get a 15th on the board, but it takes a heroic 1v2 effort from Slight to make it happen.
What a battle! Down to the wire. Jules' position catches them off. They even knew he was there. They just couldn't clear him. He was tucked in the corner. He was dug in like a tick, and they didn't have their tweezers. My goodness, Jules. Right when they needed him, he's had a quiet game. He's not had a lot of luck there towards the A site, but that was the moment, and he steps up big for them. One more. One of these next two. That's what Strife needs. Timbermen, though, with the battle, with the rally they've had to make this comeback happen, are they going to be able to find overtime and really put us behind schedule? Because, John, I think they might.
It could. They very well could. Jules is a player that does like to do the tip of the spear, and Droid is actually going to take down Slight to open things up.
It's all right, I don't want to sleep tonight.
Montana. They tried to work mid, Mike. They hadn't done it for a while, and now, well, they did last round, but in this round, they just get completely deleted. Intra is going to find Jules 5v2. I think you've cursed overtime, Mike. Nice work.
Yeah, I did your thing.
Yeah, I'm usually the one.
I think Valve cursed this overtime when
Maybe.
they delayed us an hour and a half. I think this is always going to happen. This was inevitable. We have gone the full 30, folks. It comes down to the final round. As Strife were very limp in that take, and now they're very limited in their economy. Not going to have much of anything at all. We might see this fast play again, and once again, the Timbermen fully loaded, prepared to defend, prepared to repel the invaders at their gate and take us to the overtime.
Timeout by Strife. Their money is bad. Their money is really bad. What are they going to do? Wreck can get an AK, at least. But everyone else, you're going to be on Mac 10s or Galils. Not the 30th round you want if you're Strife, which is why they've taken this timeout to talk things over and decide what they can do. I mean, usually when you're on a lighter buy like that, especially if the Mac 10s come in, you want to try and go for a faster play and close the distance as quickly as possible and give the SMGs the advantage. But, on round number 30 up against rifles, it's not going to be an easy task.
Oh, we've had a disconnect. Oh, yay. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yay. Oh, joy. Love to see that. Well, it does explain the timeout.
Yeah.
At the very least. It looks like from the ticker, this is pretty quick to resolve. So it seems like it's just a quick disconnect, reconnect. Fingers crossed that that is true. Had to get reconnected for this last round, I guess. All right, Jules is back in it. We're back in it. Game time, folks. Do or die. Do Strife close here with a few tools depleted from their tool belt? Or can the Timbermen complete the comeback to try and keep their map pick alive? Let's find out, John. Let's find out.
Map point for Strife. Second one they've had. And, well, if they don't get it here, obviously, like you said, overtime is going to hit. Joel's going to go for the Tech 9. Interesting. 2 Tech 9s because they want the utility. Makes sense. Because they get a full belt of utility for Slight and Joel's. And Wreck has almost a full belt. I can't speak. Full belt of utility with the decoy instead of a flash. Anyway, we'll see what happens there. Wreck is going to get mollied. I don't know if the Timbermen knew he was there, but they're just trying to slow down the play on the Strife side. Only a couple of rifles and the Mac 10 available. This is not going to be easy for Strife. An opening frag would do wonders for their chances here and also give them a rifle upgrade.
jump up, hop up. Danger panel check. Hasn't worked for them yet. See if it does this time. Oh, he's over. He's over. He's up and over. And he's dead. There we go. Op going to go for the next dare drop. Molotov finishing what they started. His second kill as well. Oh, suddenly they've got inroads. This is looking good here for Strife. A man advantage, a space to plant the bomb, but they need to continue capitalize and slight burning. Will not help matters. It's going down. The retake is on. The nades effective. Wreck sent to the promised land, and oh no, it's over. It's over, but it's not over, John. That's the beauty of it. We're getting more. It's overtime time, baby, and we will be back. And we're back here. Overtime. Overtime. No, John. Well, we just need him between the Timbermen and Strife to see who can put things away. Both sides struggling in their attacking halves. And as a result, an 11-4 was not enough to close it for Strife. Timbermen running it all the way back.
I think Timbermen deserve a lot of credit on their CT side for perhaps funneling Strife continually towards that A site and making it feel like the most comfortable path forward. And they were always set up really well, and when they had those players rotating around from the B site of 4 players lined up ready for the retake. And I don't know, like you said, both teams struggled on T side, but I would even argue Strife struggled more than Timbermen.
Yeah, I think so. I think you could say that. I mean, they went up, right, substantially.
Yeah.
Had 14 rounds and just could not find those final 2. Took a hero play from Joel's. They seemed very stuck in a rut, which admittedly was very true of the Timberman side as well, but perhaps even more pronounced. Okay, Darty Montana down. Hasn't even seen anybody. And he's been dropped. Utility usage from Timberman's been pretty solid as well. They've been holding on to their nades until they're most effective. Doesn't work out. This time he tried it before the bomb was even down. It was bold. And the bomb is now down. And suddenly, the kills are working out. Actually having utility for the post plant turns out to make this a little bit easier here, John. And with another kill dropped, suddenly it's just on to Snav and Dare. Dynamic duo trying to recover things, but with Rex still as the point man, they've got a lot of hurdles to overcome before they can even think about defusing this bomb. And one of those hurdles has just tripped them majorly up. There's the round that Strife desperately wanted in regulation. They will find the first round of overtime.
That's just the raw firepower that Jitter and Reck bring to the table, helping to power Strife to that 16th round victory, because it did feel like the Timbermen had the advantage in that one. And I'd say a little over aggression from Joel's trying to go for that position one more time. I don't think the Timbermen are going to give him the space to find it. Again, given how much he punished the previous time he got there. Anyway, still a good job from Strife. Shots were on point. See if they can repeat that success. But again, most of their success, if not all of it, coming towards the A site. This time Intras over at scaffolding. They got that double stack rocking and rolling once more. Dare with the op. Peering around the corner. Is he going to spot out Slight? Will Slight be able to get the shot? No, neither of them saw each other. Even though there was a very slight gap around the edge of that smoke. It has given Strife some time to get in towards the B site from the stairs, and this has not been spotted, I don't think, by the Timbermen. Now they know something is up, as Shane is going to see Darty Montana. Good Molotov thrown by Darty to force him out of that position. Now he's going to have to completely wide swing away, but they can't punish, and a nade returns back at their feet. Shane gets one, Jitter trades him out, then Jitter gets a second again. Jitter, so far, has been solid in OT. It's still a man just to work with, but Reck makes it even at a 2v2 right over the tippy top of that smoke.
Where has this come from? Bomb now down. Playing with a little bit of abandon here are Strife, and it's working out. Jitter just slip away from the util, but without the health. Angel against Imtra through the smoke. Not going to work out. Reck.
Oh.
He's got the spot for his positions known. They've got a very good idea of it. Reck still manages to find the first. Gets the reload off even. Doesn't realize that Intra's already so far forward. Now he does. Position known. Intra gonna tap, but he's got it! Somehow snatching away that kill for his third of the round and evening us up once more. Oh, Reck had that in the bag there, John.
I think he got overeager, because once he gets the information, he doesn't have to take the fight. He could have gone right back around the left side of the box and rotated again, burn more time off of the bomb, but instead he's like, I got this. I'm feeling good. My shots are hitting. That time they didn't. And Intra was able to secure the round. So tied up again. Oh, it really did feel like Reck was going to be able to win that one way or another. It does not come to fruition. Round number 3 of the first OT. Last round in the first half of the first OT, in fact. Strife. Back to their usual ways of going up that A ramp, but it is Joel's eating a nade, going down to 51 HP. And on the other side, Jitter and Reck also taking some damage. Appears as though Reck is going to make his way to the B site once more, pretty much for free. He is spotted out, going to toss an 8 on forward. This could be good for Strife, though. If he gets a frag here and can continue to make noise with utility, he could pull a lot of the Timberman players off that A site and give Strife a free and clear path to it. Ah, no, Droid is going to take down Reck, so that might no longer be viable, as you still have Snav waiting here, along with Intra.
Timberman beginning the rotation. One of the things that Vertigo allows is those very quick rotates, and Timberman have certainly been excellent at them. Molotov going to make life difficult here for Snav, but it's already been extinguished, and Intra's caught a kill as a result. Bombs down, but the numbers are not up. You're just going to go for a hero play off the flash. It's not going to work. Not in the slightest. Indeed, Darty Montana is the next victim. Clean round here for Timbermen, and this will close the first half of overtime.
Wow, 17 rounds picked up by Timbermen. That one was decisive. You saw Reck get that little bit of space towards the B site. If he wins the duel, we have an entirely different round on our hands. But because he doesn't, as you mentioned, such quick rotates are possible on CT side. And once Timbermen realized that no one was there aside from Reck, they just rotate around to A, and the standard take that Strife has been showing them round after round after round comes through once more, and the Timbermen know exactly what to look for at this point, and they clean them out very clinically. So now they're going to take a crack at their T side, which was just as problematic as Strife's. We'll see if they'll be able to find some success here and close this one out in the first OT. They need 2 more rounds to do so.
Slight. Oh, Slight overextending there, perhaps getting caught. The Molotov really wanted that pick. Tried to go for the hero play, and Dare beat him to it. Big opening pick here for the Timbermen, as they do just need a couple more rounds. A map point here would be a pretty incredible result, considering, again, just a reminder, it's been a long time since then. It was 11-4 after the first half with Strife on the 11. Timbermen with just 4 rounds to show. Kind of wild to think about.
It is.
But these T sides have just been nothing doing, John.
Yeah, it's a 13-5 run Timbermen are on, and you're right, the T sides just have not yielded much at all. At least Timbermen found the opening frag here with Dare winning the op-v-op duel against Slight. Now Joel's going to eat an aid in the smoke. I have a feeling they know he's there, right, over at Cement, and he backs off eventually. Lucky to be alive, honestly. And the nade gets tossed from him onto Dare and Shane, doing a little bit of damage. Now he's going to toss that incendiary towards back halls. And we'll see if Strife can fend off Timbermen, who still have 40 seconds to work with, and they're really trying to convince Strife that the hit's going to come to A. If it does or not is another question. Oh, now they're going to commit to it. Jones gets one, but Snap trades it out, Mike.
One and done for Joel's. Yeah, that doesn't make life a lot easier. Spawn's going down, but the utility's completely gone here for Strife. They spent it all, and now their bodies are following. Donnie Montana, position no, nothing to get him out of here as well. An op train on his position. He should be a goner. Baits out the first shot. He still can't get around the corner, and Dare puts him in the dirt. Map point found, and it's Timbermen to take it this time as they complete this wild comeback. Just one more round. One more round needed.
It is their map pick, reminder. So,
Sure.
I mean, technically they were the ones who should have had the advantage going into this one. Just their T side just looked rough around the edges in the early goings. But now, I mean, they won that one. They're looking to take this one perhaps and end it right here. Strife need to win 2 more just to keep this one in overtime and head to double OT. Darty Montana gets spotted out over the top of that smoke, and Intra sprays him down easily to make it a 5v4 again for the Timbermen. Shane is waiting for some aggression to come through, and Reck appears to want to peek out here and try to get something. I'd say the Timbermen are being a lot more patient on their T side than Strife.
Yeah, well, one of the things I think they realized at some point in this map is that if they waited, they'd get a lot of utility out of Strife. They did it on the CT side. They're doing it on the T side now. Look at the nade economy. There's very little left here for Strife. They've got a couple smokes and some flashbangs. Meanwhile, on the other side, there's still HEs. There's still Molotovs. Slight will connect a shot, but he's going to need to hit a few more of those. Player's just on the other side. Flashbang over. He catches that hard, and Snap will punish him. Slight just trying to wait it out, and, well, it's not to be. Joel's looks like he wants to make a play through smoke. He's sticking close to it. Timing going to be everything here. Here comes the play through. There's one. There's two. Not quite a third. Still, he's made this very possible for his team. Timing works out. 2-1-2 to keep them alive. The bomb Still needs to be planted. There is wary. It's a bit awkward that the op is the one that's up forward, but if he can get over towards the side hall, now it becomes a strong position. He doesn't get caught, and there's the shot. He's making them pay for it. Jenner in a 1v2. He's got a kit, but he's got no smoke to cover this off. He has to find the kills. He's not going to get that defuse away with them still up, and that's going to be it. The Timbermen take the round. The Timbermen take the map 11-4 in the first half against them, and they battle back. They rally. They make it happen. I'm pulling my hair out watching this, but they make it happen. Timbermen bring it through in the end.
Yeah, a 15-5 run to close things out. Their T side looked much more composed in overtime than it did throughout the entirety of regulation. And I mean, they did have their slower plays on their T side in regulation, but you're absolutely